we move to mastery now. Again, we had purpose, autonomy, now it's mastery. And it's this concept of people want to learn, progress, and constantly improve. And some of the comments earlier where people want to be effective, they want to feel like they're doing a good job. This is all part of mastery. Let's see. In the research, the top two things that participants want in an ideal job. So what's the best job and what things would you have in them? And the top two things I came up with were progress in their careers and being good at what they do. And again, you'll notice it wasn't how much money they get paid. It was moving forward and feeling like they make a difference and feeling like they can have an impact. Wiley and Kowski found 79% of employees who don't think they're going to go somewhere within their company, who don't think they're going to progress and learn, 79% of those employees are going to consider leaving. So you really want to help people learn. You really want to help them know how they can get better. And then there's this concept of flow. A guy named Mahai Csikszentmihalyi, that's that crazy name down at the bottom, Mahai Csikszentmihalyi wrote a book called Flow. And one of his quotes is, the best moments in our lives are not passive, receptive, or relaxing. The best moments occur when our mind and body is stretched to its limits, accomplishing something difficult and worthwhile. This is when people enjoy their jobs the best. This is when they're at the top of their games, when they can find flow and they can really get into what they're doing so that the time passes and they don't even realize the time is passing. So how do you guys help your teams with mastery? So the first thing is, how do you create challenge and opportunity for flow? So the key to flow is employees need to know how to do the task. It needs to be a little bit challenging for them. They need to be clear on the goal. They need to have a good environment in which to do it. And so look for things that your employees really get into. For instance, some people on our team really get into spreadsheets. Once they start working on spreadsheets, they kind of get lost in them and just lose track of time as they get them built and the reports built and they figure out the numbers and that kind of thing. Other people I've worked with are very creative, and when they get into their creative processes, they get into flow and they lose track of time. I'm very much a PowerPoint developer. If I can get in and develop a presentation, I can kind of lose track of time. I kind of figure out what I want to say and how I want to say it, that kind of thing. So how can you create flow for your employees? And again, look at the things they're good at. Look at the things they like to do. And those are the things they'll be able to get into flow around. Delegate. Employees a lot of times believe they can do what you do better, but they want to learn what you're doing. They want to see how to do it. And so you can really help mastery by giving them little pieces of your job. And by giving them little pieces of your job, it allows you time to go and do other things, like figure out how to help them be more motivated and engaged. So find ways to delegate, find ways to share your work with your employees. And then clarify learning and development as well as career development. And this is a place where a lot of companies make good first steps but don't make the second and third steps. And for example, announcing that you have training available is great, but the employees are too busy. They don't follow up on it. They don't go chase it down. And so you need to remind them, and you need to let them know, and you need to tell them that in order to move to the next level, you need to learn something about accounting. You need to learn something about marketing. You need to learn about the clients or the industries the clients are in, and send them on their way to go chase down that learning and that training. Also with career development, what is it they need to do? What are the next steps they need to take? It's not telling them they're going to get promoted. It's telling them, look, there's a lot of work to do, and here are the different things you can do. And they will appreciate that, and they'll be engaged by that. They'll be excited by that. Unfortunately, what happens a lot of times is we don't tell people how they can progress in their careers, and they don't do a good job. And we know they're not ready, and they know they're not ready, and so they become demotivated because nobody's going to help them get there. They know they're not going to make it, but nobody's going to help them get there. So clarify learning and development, clarify career development, and share that with them as often as possible. And then hold them accountable. And this is, again, a really big thing, especially with the millennials. Those employees that are 35 and under, they really want to be held accountable. They want to be held accountable in a positive way, but they want to be held accountable. And again, it goes to, if you're telling me what I'm doing wrong, if you're telling me how I can improve, then you care about me and you're thinking about me. But if I don't hear from you and I'm doing something wrong, I know I'm doing it wrong, and you're basically saying that I don't matter and I'm not important. And remember, what people want is they want to matter, they want to make a difference, they want to feel important. So we need to hold them accountable. We need to tell them what they're doing. That's not going to get them there. And again, we can put it in a positive spin. It doesn't have to be, this is why you're bad. It can be, this is how you get better. You're 80% of the way there, and this is what it's going to take you to get 20% of the way there. So it's not about coming down on them as much as it is about showing them and helping them be successful. So then, how do you guys implement mastery? So think about and write down, this is another activity, write down what kinds of learning opportunities you can create for your team members. What could you delegate to them? What classes could they take either inside or outside of the organization? What things do they need to do to learn? Maybe books to read for career development, industries to learn about to help clients, that kind of thing. Maybe you can let them run a weekly meeting. So anyway, take a few minutes, write down what kinds of learning opportunities you can create for your team members. Okay, we'll go to the last one. So